Hello, Yates County and beyond. Welcome back to another episode of Invasive Species Friday. Through this short weekly podcast, we at the Yates CCE hope to bring you information about the invasive species you may see around this county. We are buzzing berries with this week's invasive, Spotted Wing Drosophila. Originally from Eastern Asia, this vinegar fly was first found in Hawaii in the 1980s. In 2008, it was discovered in California, and then in Florida, Utah, the Carolinas, and Michigan by 2010. It had reached all but 4 continental states by 2013, including New York. Spotted Wing Drosophila overwinters as adults and first emerge in late June and early July. Populations rapidly increase, peaking in August. Their life cycle can be as short as 7 days, so there are several generations per year. The adults use a saw-like ovipositor to lay their eggs in soft but fresh fruit. They can infest many different types of fruit, but are particularly attracted to raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, and other such berries. The larvae hatch after 12 to 72 hours and grow inside the fruit. Most exit when it's time to pupate, typically 5 to 7 days later. After another 4 to 15 days, they emerge as adults, whose lifespan is 20 to 30 days. In their short lifespan, females can lay over 350 eggs. The spotted wing Drosophila are very similar looking to other fruit and vinegar flies. They are 2 to 3 millimeters long, with red eyes and a tan body with darker bands on their abdomen. The males have a single spot at the front end of their wings and 2 dark spots on the lower end of their front legs. The spots make them easy to identify without necessarily needing a microscope. The females are trickier, however, as they don't have these spots. They do have a robust ovipositor with 2 rows of serration that can be seen under magnification. This tube-like egg injector is longer than other vinegar fly species. Another way to tell the spotted wing apart is by the lines on the abdomen. Other fruit flies, and other lookalikes, also have markings on their body, but the spotted wing has continuous lines marking each segment instead of dots or dashes. Many of the lookalikes also have dark heads and thoraxes and a lighter body, while the spotted wings are more of a golden brown throughout. So you're probably thinking fruit flies are annoying and kind of gross, but not necessarily harmful. On their own, fruit flies can't hurt you. They don't have a stinger and they can't bite, but the harm from this week's invasive isn't physical. The crop yield loss from a spotted wing infestation can be as high as 80%. This amounts to a projected $7 million of annual fruit loss just in New York State. Unlike other fruit flies who lay eggs in overripe or decaying fruit, spotted wings lay in those that are healthy, fresh, and thin-skinned. A couple days later, the fruit will start to pucker and deform as the larva begins feeding. The fruit that would be sold in stores may be rejected because it's visually unmarketable or because there are larvae present. Secondary pests like mold and bacteria may also take the opportunity to exacerbate any damage. Fresh fruit going to farm stands, farm markets, or into a home may still have the larva present, as the evidence of feeding may not appear for up to 14 days after the eggs are laid. If berries are stored at room temperature, it's possible for the larva to hatch after the fruit is picked. In areas where infestations are known to be, or may be nearby, some farms are resorting to weekly insecticide applications. This increased their costs, which often gets passed on to the consumer. If you're worried about spotted wing Drosophila in your home garden, there are a few things you can do, including monitoring, sanitation, exclusion, and insecticides. The most critical time to monitor is when the fruit color first starts to develop until you harvest. There are homemade traps with wine or vinegar you can make for your garden to check for adults. There are also sampling methods you can use to test fruit for the larva. In terms of management, it's important to harvest crops frequently so ripe fruit isn't in the garden for an extended amount of time. Any old fruit on the stem or the ground should be removed. If you have an infestation, you can bag the fruit and leave it in the sun for a few days before disposing of it in the trash. Don't compost or bury the infested plant material, as research has shown both methods are unreliable. Excluding fruit flies can be done with a fine mesh netting, but the timing is difficult due to pollination requirements. Also, anytime the netting is removed, like for harvesting, the flies will also have access. There may be pesticides labeled for spotted wing available in your area, but they only target adults, not the larvae or eggs. The rapid life cycle means rapid repeated treatment, which can lead to chemical resistance. once the fruit's infested, there's only so much you can do. In any case, it's important to confirm you actually have spotted wing before trying to treat it. Reach out to your local extension office for more information. We do want to note that if your fruit looks intact, but you believe it may be infested, you can pop it in the fridge. Chilling can help slow or stop the development of the larva. It may not be appealing to all of our listeners, but the fruit is very likely safe to eat, despite the larva inside. And with that, we reach the end of this week's episode of Invasive Species Friday. Next Friday, we have an insect-fungus combo. Until then, we at the Yates CCE thank you for tuning in and supporting our fight against invasive species in Yates County.